hear from the public is we need to have youth more engaged in the future, in planning for the future. That when I think of 2040, it's not my world anymore. It's the world of the people that we have here today. Kathy likes to quote that youth is 20% of our population and 100% of our future. And so I think it's really important today that we're hearing from the voices of youth. First, we're going to introduce Megan Sullivan from Together, and many of you have heard of Together before. Together is our partner on the Rural and Tribal Transportation Program. So we have partnered on many projects in the past and will continue to. And I'm really proud to be part of the Voices of Youth and to introduce Megan Sullivan, to give you a little background, and then to hear from the youth.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you guys for some time on the agenda. As Karen said, my name is Megan Sullivan. I'm the Operations Director at Together, and my hope is to share a little bit of the background about this project and then turn it over to the youth so you can hear from the voices of the youth. So as Karen said, this was a project that started with United Way. It was actually their board, some of their members of their board and their leadership got together and said, wouldn't it be great if there were ways that we could hear from the youth, that there were ways that the youth could express their opinions, and we could get their perspectives in planning and in how to impact their health and their safety and their success. So that's where the idea came from. It was set out originally to be an 18-month initiative, and here we are, it's been 18 months, and so I want to tell you what we've done and where we've come from, and then have the youth tell you what it was like from their experience. And there were a lot of partners, including United Way. The Olympian was a key partner, at ESD 113, all of the public school districts, a consulting agency that United Way contracted with called FLT Consulting. Thurston Regional Planning Council was a partner. Karen has helped out and been at planning meetings a whole lot. The Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction is also a partner, and Department of Health, we have representation there. So pretty broad partnerships, and in terms of funding, it was a project that United Way put some money into, seed money to get it going, and then United Way passed the torch to Together. Both United Way and Together have given in-kind funds, and then we've raised funds from the Nisqually Tribe as well as the Community Foundation. Overall, it's less than $20,000 that we've raised, and then in-kind funds have made it float, and the contribution of in-kind time for planning. So a little bit about the youth work. So youth were convened to look at healthy youth survey data last spring. And we looked at a lot of data points and then gave some training to youth on how to do focus groups. And we did identify some top key themes that came out of the focus group stuff. And that was access to healthy food, access to recreation facilities, lack of opportunities in the after-school hours, and alcohol, tobacco, drug issues, as well as lack of social and emotional support. So those are some of the key themes. And they did town hall held a town hall meeting in June of last year, and they'll tell you a little bit about that. And we've been planning this year, meeting with students throughout the school year to figure out how we can address our county-wide priority, which is lack of access to adequate recreation facilities. So, and then each of the schools did projects, and the students who are here are just from 2 of our schools, but like I said, we've had participation from all 12 districts throughout, or all 12 public high schools throughout the process. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to AJ Doctor and Amber Delsite, and they're from Black Hills and Tumwater.
So I am Amber Delsite. I go to Tumwater High School, and what Tumwater High School did is we did food for flowers. So we set up a compost area and a local garbage area, and this is saving our school so much money, so that way we can put it into funding for different different social activities, and we're making our school a more positive place. We have a security guard who absolutely cares about the kids, and the kids, when she calls them down to her office before they leave, they go, "Thank you." And that's the first time that Tumwater's actually had someone who's actually cared for the kids. And so it's been absolutely wonderful seeing how the school has become a more positive place, and how the students and faculty have worked together to to make it such a great atmosphere.
So I'm from Black Hills High School, which is also in the Tumwater School District. Our school had originally, several years back, a few years back, had a group called Student Engagement Team, which was several students from our school getting together and just kind of planning out what exactly we wanted to, what we saw in our school and what we wanted to see changed, and getting that sent out to different administrators in our school district, and that didn't really work out, and so we kind of abandoned that project. And then about a year later, we were contacted by United Way about this project called Voices of Youth, and so we were really excited about that and interested in that. And so we had several people come together and get on board with this project. At our school, we, instead of taking immediate action into things, we decided to take a step back and gather more information, more data from the individual students. So we took a school-wide survey over, of the 800 students in our school, about 600 participated in it, just to figure out what our focus was the cafeteria food at our school and improving that. And our focus was just what people thought about that and how they would, what they would do to improve that. And so we took this information, we got back that people want the healthier food, and people would rather we even found out that people would rather organic food over inorganic. If they had the choice, they would choose that. So throughout the next year or so, we're going to take this information and we've presented it to our food administrator, we've presented it to several members of our board. We're going to just see how far we can take this along through that. And as Megan has said, this was originally planned as an 18-month project, and that time has passed. So individually, the schools have decided that we want to continue forward with these projects and keep moving forward. And so one of the biggest things that we need for this, obviously, would be support in any way people can, whether that be just their own voice through the administrations they're with, or financial support, or anything you can help us with. Do you want to add anything to that?
Well, like a couple of the other school projects that have been going on is Olympia High School put milk spouts in. So they are actually like decreasing the population of the milk cartons, and at each of their water fountains they have a milk spout. So that way kids can get milk or water. And at Capitol they did a survey and they found out what kind of pizza people liked, and they found out that they don't like the gross, greasy stuff that is in schools. So they reworked their pizza menu, and they are now getting their pizza dough from Bagel Brothers, and they are putting chicken on their pizza, and they're making it what the students want. And so it's a lot, it's really cool to see how the program has developed and to see what these youth can do from all sorts of different schools and how far they are willing to take it. So the support is much needed for this program. I can definitely say that without Together, we wouldn't have been able to gather the youth to put on our projects, and we wouldn't know who to contact, and us as youth are sort of lost without the adult support and the adult help. So any support that can be provided would be much appreciated, and we would really like to continue making Thurston County a positive, more healthy community. Well, one of the other schools, I think it was Rochester, yeah, they started a garden, and they are starting to like facilitate that garden through different classes and after-school activities, and that is giving them, so that all they had to do was buy the funds for the seeds, and then they are producing their own food, and they are sort of having their own farmer's market, I believe, at their school.
Kershaw Farm is right across the street from our school, and our Black Hills High School is actually located on a farm. And we are getting no food from those organizations at all. We're getting things from other places, and so we, the youth at our school, we're kind of thinking about that. And why don't we get support from those different organizations that are just right there? So we decided, one of the owners, their student goes to our school, and so our next step for us is to talk to them and see if we can set something up and see how much that would cost to transfer our food source from some outside place to this farm that's right near our school to supply our food.
So a couple things to add. Other schools are working on priorities outside of food. A lot of schools are working on food and access to healthy food, and some of the students have participated in the food summit efforts that were going on, and students have participated in the sustainable Thurston things that are going on. Some of the students have gotten scholarships as a result of this work. There are other schools who are focusing on things like alcohol, tobacco, other drugs. South Sound Alternative High School just did a World No Tobacco Day, huge event yesterday that had a campaign having kids pledge to quit or pledge to cut back. Other students and schools are focusing on, especially in the South County, Yelm, Rainier, and Tenino, are focusing on how they can partner, how they can build rapport among the students of the different schools, and how they can have intramural sports or other non-traditional sports like frisbee golf tournaments or other things of that nature. So it's pretty broad, the scope of our work, and our vision is this can continue, and it can't continue without the support of our leadership.
Yep. Specifically, if you had your druthers, what would you like to get from this organization?
Well, our goal right now is to get what we're doing out through the community and have more people not only knowledgeable about it, but interested in it. And so at least your support in, if you're interested in the project, you can contact us, or you can, like when you go back to your own individual organizations, you can talk about it. You can just let people know that this is going on, so that if someone does want to support us, or if you want to support us, that they can contact us and we can get more involved with them and they can get more involved with us. Do you want to add something to that, or is there another question?
Jim Cooper, I actually happen to be the director of Together, so I want to kind of take that question if I can, really quick.
That was part of the question for you,
you know, this project would be much more successful with a large bankroll if we could figure out a way to do that, but really more practically, taking a chance to listen to what these youth have done across the county in your jurisdictions and invite them to the table. Find places that you can bring the youth to the table and listen to what they've done and listen to the ideas they have and find ways to implement them in policy. So if we can create positions for these young people at this table, at our subcommittee tables, at our boards and commissions and city council and school district tables, that's the way we can integrate this work into the fabric of our community.
I really appreciate what these people are doing. We see you at our council meetings all the time. Our council supports their activities, especially trying to restrict alcohol use in youth. And we actually have a youth council member, the representative on the Rainier City Council, and we get their perspective and have a very active student-supported garden that supports the school and the local food bank. So good work.
One more thing. So in closing, I just wanted you to know that our students presented, 20 students and staff and adults planners went to the Healthy School Summit in May in CTAC, a statewide conference about school and school health and student health. And we had a really well-attended presentation, and there's a lot of interest. People have been following this from across the state. They want to replicate in the Tacoma area, and folks are watching how this is going and looking to Thurston County to be a leader. And so we just invite you to speak about it, to find ways to learn more and see how you can plug in. So thank you for your time. We very much appreciate it.